we're on another episode of RopeBreak. Okay.
Yes, we're back.
We're back again. I don't know why. Because people keep listening, apparently.
I don't know. Why would you do that to yourself?
I really don't know either. But we are joined by two fabulous guests. One and only Jamie Harvey.
Woo!
Woo!
Sorry, was that my cue?
Yeah, that was your cue. And Dan Thorburn.
Oh, I remember your name.
Yeah, I did, yeah. It's like I've researched, isn't it? Just a little bit.
Yeah, what's research anyway? What is that?
I know, I think it's something that people are meant to do before fucking podcasts.
You listen to Dave Meltzer about cancer and all that stuff with Roman Reigns.
Fuck it out. We might get to that a bit later.
That escalated incredibly.
Yes.
That's one way of
Let's
jumping.
just
Yes.
jump into whether this cancer storyline was a work or not.
Right, so the reason why we're joined by two really amazing guests is because we wanted to talk about Shield Pro Wrestling, which you two are main founders of.
Aye.
Is that or is that not correct?
Yes, we'll have a third as well, but he couldn't be here today.
He's not here today.
Unfortunately.
He's a bit busy.
So Gav gets a shout out for when he listens to it later to prove that we didn't ignore him.
But so talk about why did Shield Pro start then? Where did it start?
It got started because I was very frustrated with this. Like, I only really worked for one company, and well, not who it was, and it was very frustrating.
It was
It was very frustrating from a creative angle, and stuff like that. And I never saw eye to eye with the promoter for that. And then basically every time I whinged to my friends that like no ideas were getting heard or anything like that, and we're running the same stories over and over again, and just, we need to do something bigger and different. They're just like, why don't you make your own? And then I sort of like, because it costs that much.
Yeah, it costs, he's basically just went, it costs this much.
Yeah.
For anyone that isn't there,
And then eventually cause I was still working at Trucks at the time, and we decided we were going to get Pokemon tattoos because Gentleman Jim's tattoo place was doing a Pokemon tattoo for like a tenner, but the money for it was going to a dog shelter. So he wanted to get all 150 done, so we went and took most of the staff and knocked off about like 8 of them. And we were sat there getting our Pokemon tattoos, and they all twisted my arm. So I went home and started writing up ideas of what I wanted to do, and then I rang Dan.
and
Dan, I've got this really stupid idea. Do you want to come and meet us down the pub for a beer so I can show you them?
So Dan, when you get down there, is he just, are you at one point? Are you just like, this is a stupid idea, or are you just like, nah, I'm gonna jump into it?
It was funny. I was, when Jamie rang us, I was watching Pokemon. Pokemon basically have been an integral part of Shield Pro Wrestling from its inception. But yeah, he was like, I'm going to do this thing. Come meet us at the pub. I was like, right, fine, okay, no problem. So I did. I went to the pub, had a beer, sat down. He got his notebooks out. Still gets the notebooks out all the time. It's really irritating. Usually costs money.
Yeah, it does.
Gets his notebook out. This is what I got planned. It's like, all right, no problem. I'm in. And it was that easy. It was like, I want to do this. Okay.
This
Fine.
is possible.
Yeah,
I
I'm
can
going to do this. Yeah.
Well, there's so much support when we got started as well because of like trucks. So the punters and the staff and like the business got right behind we and helped we get as fast and the best start we could.
So
and then we've just grown it on top.
You're saying you like you couldn't have done it like a lot without the already the fan base that was there, that you had like almost like a family vibe behind you already. So is that, you would say that's like a driving factor?
Oh yeah. Because we knew the community at the venue from the Rad Pro days and everything like that. So when we adopted the venue, everyone wanted to check out what we were going to do different.
Well, yeah. When did you make that like jump though? Because obviously Rad Pro was something else. Did you want to then go, right, well, this is how we're going to differ, this is how we're doing things differently?
Oh, this is where we're going to get comments.
So Rad Pro had already left the venue through differences of opinion between themselves and the staff.
Right.
They'd had to buy a new ring because the ring at the time actually belonged to the community centre.
Okay.
Which is why they ended up with a new ring. They they left. They were promoting shows elsewhere, and due to Gav had a very personal relationship with the owner of, or the manager of the centre. So they were, look, we'll come and we'll do this thing, and it'll kind of be under our banner, and it'll be entirely different how it was before. And that relationship with Tutor Reid has grown every month ever since. They let us get away with
Absolutely
so much, so much we get away with.
We've rewired half that building.
Have you had to do it all like for free just because you've met and
Like literally, like they'd just let we.
Yeah.
Like would go up and come and drill a hole in there and pull some cables through. Aye, get on, aye.
You know your main hole that you make all your money from, yeah? Can we hang loads of really expensive lights from the top of it? Would that be? Can we leave them up all the time? Yeah, crack on, lads, it'll be fine. Thank you.
Well, we'll talk about that as well. So that's one of the things that I think makes you guys stand out from everyone else, is that you do have like that truss system that's already on there with all your big expensive lights, your big entranceway, and now it's all been redone for the next hall that you are in. Is that right?
Yeah, it's insane.
So I mean, like, talk me through that. Talk what happened there. Like, when at one point do you go, I think we need to change it up a bit?
See, that flashback video on the next episode's going to be class now. Yeah. Because, like, the first 3 shows we did were just, like, the lights in the gym. And it was all bright and that. We had our entrance truss with a couple of moving heads on it. But other than that, it was just a bright, shiny gym. Like, and then slowly but surely, I say slowly, it's 2 years and now we're on to insane stuff. The rigs and the lighting and everything, we were lucky with a lot of that because the pubs that Gav owned were shutting down, so we inherited a lot of lighting, which was insanely generous of Gav first and foremost to just like, we'll make this work. Trucks had a don't chuck anything out, it might be handy in the future policy, and it turned out to be perfectly right.
We basically decided, right, the gym being this bright isn't working for anymore, the cameras are a bit naff, it looks a bit naff. How do I fix it? Well, we happen to have this circle truss sitting in storage. How do we get that on the ceiling? Night shifts. That's how we get that on the ceiling. Yeah. So we have a core team, a core tech team, which is myself and Gav, and a lad called Kyle who runs with sound, who puts in an immense amount of graft, and Gash, basically, who is the team labourer, so to speak.
He's called Gash. We're not allowed to reveal his real name for security issues.
Yeah, and we did, and Jamie, obviously, we did many.
I get the tea.
He gets the tea, and
Jamie's
I hold a screwdriver occasionally.
Pass me the screwdriver. What's a screwdriver? Get out of the way. So we did many night shifts in Tutor Reid, pulling cables and rewiring fuse boards and running DMX cables and entirely custom made control boxes because we're all nerds and it's fun.
Yeah.
Oh, you'd fit in right at the university here.
Yeah, we're just like go hard or go home, basically.
Yeah.
It really is. It's like there's been a lot of ideas put in the notepads and texted about between what all, and at least 90% of them have become a reality, no matter how stupid they are.
Yeah.
Because some of them have been really stupid.
Oh, come on, you've got to tell me now.
For starters, they had in January we had a barnyard rules match with a couple of bales of hay in it. That was a great idea at the time until the mess. So we went out and bought like legit a couple of bales of hay.
Which, by the way, I hope you've enjoyed that match if you've ever got a chance to see it, because it's never happening again.
Never happening again. But Shield Wars 2 will be available on DVD. And
where the hell do you get bales of hay?
I literally went to a farm and bought them. And not only that, I was going to meet the guys at MEW for the first time.
Oh, good.
So I decided to I thought I'd make a good first impression. So I had like my good dress pants on and a waistcoat and all that jazz. Yeah. But time was getting on. It was like, I'm gonna have to get these bales before I can. So I went to a farm in a suit, essentially.
Did that help?
I get some weird looks with the face paint and everything when I walk around, but that was the best ever. Walking into a farm in a suit. Can I have 2 bales of hay, please? I'm just going to bung them in a van.
2 bales of hay to go, please. Just like a drive-through.
Yeah. It was, eh?
Do you want fries with that? Like,
surprisingly cheap as well.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
How much is it for a bale of hay?
I think it cost us £8 for the 2.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Anyone who wants to buy bales of hay, there you go.
I think
4
when we
quid
do
per
a new
bale.
studio, we need to do it out of bales of hay.
Yeah.
We're just going to create a new studio out of bales of hay. That and electrical equipment is going to go really well.
Just so you know, hay is A, highly flammable. And
Sorry, Jason.
yeah, very sorry, Jason. And secondly, it does get everywhere. Like if you carry it down a corridor, you sweep in that corridor. It's just gets everywhere. It's,
So I'm going to take it you had to sweep the entire centre.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Right, well, I'll tell you what, we've covered quite a bit, like, S.H.I.E.L.D. at the minute. So is it... Where did your guys' characters start, then? And why did they start?
Oh, you can go first because mine's boring. Mine's just me.
Yeah. Oh, mine was just given to us by my trainer.
Yeah?
Oh, I really want me gimmick. Oh well, what about this? Sure, I can be an evil clown. I got to be an evil clown once. Then everyone cheered for us because I can do a flip. No, I'm a happy clown. I'm thrilled about it.
You sound really thrilled
tell,
about it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. So it was just, you there was just no choice in it. You were like, I'm going to be an evil
Yeah,
clown.
my trainer at the time was like, we really want an evil clown. I was like, oh, that sounds like fun. I can probably do some face paint, which, for the record, I could not. That was many nights of stress sitting in the house doing my makeup, which thrilled my family.
They're all thinking, Dan spends
I
a lot
always
of
like
time
a
in his
time.
room.
Yeah.
I think it was before we did an IWF booking and we were out with Georgie and Cabby. I was around his house and helping him paint his nails. Different colour on each nail. Because I'm experienced in that kind of thing.
I mean, you know, I'm not
not
saying...
not that today I'm bold, but
So you come out, you do the whole fracture the clown, and at what point do you go, well, you know, it's good for me, but it's not. I'm not 100% sure on it, or is there any time you had like a real like struggle with it, to say the least?
I never struggled with it because at first I tried to play a bit of a character and I was Romanian, air quotes, but I tried to do a Romanian accent and I couldn't. So I was like, I'm from Romania, but I'm a mute clown. Yes, this is how I get around that.
Very clever.
Yeah, I thought it was masterstroke. And and after like my first 3 years of wrestling was typical British scene at the time. It was 3 matches a month if you're lucky kind of deal. So I just kind of ploughed through them like, oh, I'm just doing this thing that I've been told to do and whatever. And it wasn't until like year 5 or 6 or whatever where it was kind of like, you know what, I gotta have some fun with this.
Mm-hmm.
And I just got this little cheeky streak down the middle of the character, and now I'm a gobshite. But I'm not Romanian.
But at least I'm not Romanian. I mean,
it's sad that we never did that angle, you know, when Triple H outs Kofi for not.
I was
being
just going to
Jamaican.
say, I was literally just thinking that.
I could just see.
All you could have done is learnt a couple of lines from Dragostea Dinte by Ozone, and then you would have got away with it as well.
It would have been like, you know, that
Overestimate my ability.
this whole mute clown, and then out of nowhere you start talking. It's like, when did you learn to speak, kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, luckily, it kind of came on outside shows, and then it just travelled back to S.H.I.E.L.D. So it's like,
Oh, what made you feud with Mihai?
yeah.
Was it for the Romanian accent?
Yeah, we miss Mihai.
Mihai was great, except he only spoke Romanian in his very last promo for the company.
Why didn't he speak Romanian? In any
I don't know.
of
He
this?
always used to grease the fans for just being ignorant and all that, and being a really good heel about it. And then, like, he came out for one of his last promos, and he had half in English and half in Romanian, and then griefed them for not
Understand
like
what he
for
was
being
saying.
too ignorant to like learn his language, even though he managed to learn theirs.
That is a
And it was just like,
brilliant
why
move,
is this
by
the
way.
last promo? Like, we had him just about ready to smack Gav or announce her. Like, Gav goes out there and does announcing, and Mihai would always come out and go, like, do it right.
Yeah,
Like, announces the way.
Yeah, do it in a
You should.
Romanian
Yeah.
language.
And
You
like,
know.
I'm the greatest wrestler in the world, Mihai. And I reckon we could have got Mihai to smack him.
Yeah.
That would have been fun, to say the least. So yeah, obviously Shield Pro now it's evolved, and you guys have got the academy and stuff as well, and the training school. How much different is that compared to just being a wrestler on a show and running the entire company?
Eat your life.
Yeah.
like they get away with it because they've got like full-time jobs, and I do like a bit of DJing and I help out in the kitchen where my lass works sometimes and everything for a bit of extra cash. But for the rest of it, it's just like wrestling,
Yeah.
and I blow up their phones on a hourly basis. I've got this idea. This won't work. How do I get onto this? Nah, and just stressing about everything, and just like, who should we get in? Like, we haven't got a card for this month. Ah! and then they ignore us for days.
All right, he said that twice now. Let me explain to you why we ignored him.
Right.
Okay, so if you've seen our latest show, you'll have seen the giant screen walls.
Yes.
Yeah, those were an adventure.
Right.
Cried.
So Jamie had decided that we we're moving to the new hall, so we need to up the production value a little bit just to like, well, yeah.
Makes sense.
Oh, okay, fine, no problem. And his idea was, we'll get a couple of projectors and some screens and we'll project onto them and it'll be like a Titantron. And I'll see what you're doing there.
Seemed like a perfectly reasonable next step.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying.
So these screen walls came up for sale.
Right.
And we had a discussion amongst the tech team where Jamie wasn't involved.
At all.
We don't let him in the tech team WhatsApp group. He's not allowed in that one. So me and Gav and Kyle was supposed to come, but Kyle slept in because Kyle's useless. And we got in a van at 4 o'clock in the morning. We drove to Portsmouth. We picked up 2 screen walls in 20 flight cases. We drove them back to Shields. Same day. 1 stop for dinner.
Jesus.
And we took them to shooter and we hid them. and obviously we did so many night shifts where we put them up beforehand to get them to work. You'd think it would just be like plugging an HDMI cable into a television. It is not. Okay, it's not like that at all.
Oh.
And we obviously we had to re-rig the ceiling because the ceiling didn't have the lights in it.
Oh, shit.
So we put up 2 bars, the circle truss. We built the ramp. We completely redid the commentary booth and the sound engineers.
Can't believe you said built the
area.
ramp and you didn't sound bitter about it.
We built the ramp. We had an argument with Jamie about the ramp. We wanted a platform that went all the way to the ring.
Okay. Like,
Because
yeah,
you
yeah.
beat stage.
Do you know why? Because platforms are easy to build.
Right. Okay.
Ramps are difficult.
Right.
Because you've got to get the angle right, which we did not. But you have to get the angle right. You have to get the support right. You have to know whether you put legs in the middle. How do you put legs on a ramp? We worked that one out. We wanted a platform, and Jamie point blank went, no.
No, we're having a ramp.
Right.
We're
Well, you
having a
come and
ramp.
build your ramp, and he didn't.
That's because every time I text him going, so when he's meeting up, we'll come down for have a chat and I'll give you a hand. That would just be it. 3 days later, I'd get a Ginge, can you go and get this for us?
Yeah, so basically we decided that these screen walls were going to be a surprise for Ginger.
Okay.
So we just started going, no, you can't come when we're doing the work. That you'd be useless to it. Don't bother coming down.
Yeah.
We can make our own tea. And he got a little bit down about it. He was like, oh, it seemed like you're just cutting us out and blah, 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 blah. So
Yeah, I was really excited. I really wanted to help. Because
So,
once
yeah.
we got the ideas rolling and that, it was just like, oh, I want to get stuck in.
Yeah, you're just like, I want to get this done faster. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
so,
I am fairly useless, but I'm enthusiastic.
Well, you know.
yeah. So yeah, I grabbed my trainer. I was like, look, you just need to trust us on show day. All will be revealed.
Yeah.
And it was, and it went
Yeah, I
really
got
well.
the same view as everybody else. I walked in the room and swore for what felt like 20 minutes straight. I just couldn't get like real words out my mouth, and then I cried.
Oh, wow.
Just all the emotion proper swung by us because I went in there expecting 2 white sheets hanging either side of the
2 curtains.
yeah, and then there's these LED boards that you see on like WWE and World of Sport kind of TV stuff, and it's like, what do we have with them in South Shields, man?
Why? what is going in? So I did like, right. Quick question then, Jamie. How long did you think they took to put up? When you saw them?
like, did you have them the night before? Did you put them on?
Answer the question, then I'll tell you.
Alright, like, I reckon they'd have tried getting them up the night before, like, and it would have took a good few hours.
Right.
Because they've all got to be, like, you cannot misplace them by, like, a millimetre, because you'll wreck a line of LEDs.
Yeah.
So I reckon it was a pain in the arse, and it probably took most of the Friday night before the show.
Dan?
Those screens went up 4 times before they went up for the final time. We did 3 night shifts where we started at 6 and we finished at 4 a.m.
See what I mean? Why they left us out?
And then the night before the Thursday before the show on the Saturday, we were there till 2. The screens went up then. We worked on them until 2, from about 7, trying to make them work, but we couldn't. They were really low resolution, so getting the picture to fit on them is difficult, particularly because the shape and size we have of screen isn't a standard one. It wants another row really to be a perfect resolution.
Yeah.
So we had to like force it into, this is how big you are.
Yeah,
just
this is
work.
how big I want you to be. Yeah.
So those screens started working at about 5:05 on the Friday night. And then we got there, me and Gav from work got there at about 6. Because Kyle had been there all day faffing with these screens. He'd talked to China. He'd been on the phone with the people who bought it from. He'd phoned local companies to see if they could help. But we got them working. And then we were there till 2 o'clock on that night, building the ramp that night. Stupid ramp. And then
I'm really bitter about the ramp.
and then on the
I had my
Saturday
reasons.
show day, we turned up at 9 o'clock in the morning and we worked through until midnight when we left, packing down that night. So yeah, that beer that night was very well earned.
Flaming egg. So
Yeah.
like it's
I can't even remember what I did with my beer.
I
I'm sure I
drank
only
mine.
got through half of it, and
Yeah.
because I was still like the whole show, it was weird because like everything, like acoustically, the look of it all, just and how it was all done was completely new. So like the whole show, like us, was pure chaos until it got to the end, and then it was just like it was hard to take in. That would pull it off and create a change, and really like gone from wanting to be just like the next step up to being like 20.
yeah.
And
you
it's
just didn't
just like
expect
I'm still, I look at the photos and I still don't quite get it. I get really giddy and excited and I can't wait for the next one.
So what's then the reaction of the guys that you've booked to coming in
Quality.
who knew what it was like before?
Absolutely quality. Because like I cannot really comment on it because I give exactly the same reaction because I was seeing it for the first time.
Yeah.
But like I was bigging it up because I knew like how much graft was going into it, so I was just like, I can't wait for you to see it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be better.
Yeah.
And meanwhile they sat there, I wouldn't say smug like because the graft was serious. But they got a good kick out of it, I think, on the day.
Yeah, there was some good reactions when the workers start coming. They're like, what is this? It's like, this is work.
But now you guys have got like a completely different.
Best one is, you're taking the piss.
that was by far my favourite. That was Assassin.
And like, oh, what? Like,
Yeah, it was very nonchalant. He kind of came in the room and turned around and went, "You taking the pass?"
The good part about it for me was I'd sat in, like, because we've got 2 years worth of footage
Yeah.
from most of the people on the card, so making the entrance videos was great fun.
Yeah.
Like I made sure they got the themes in, any custom ones, like get them in. There was now because the production values about it. This is still me thinking I'm getting projector screens.
Yeah.
So we sort of give them a look at that entrance videos before the show, so that they wouldn't moonwalk out the curtain to watch that video,
Right.
basically, and spoil their entrance on the show.
Right.
Because even though at least 5 of them did stop and go, class that. Go that, man.
Just brilliant, that, you know. Right, I'm gonna go do me
So
match
give
now.
them
But
all
it's
a look.
brilliant.
And that was my giddy part because I was really excited to see everyone's face to like see, like, you get an entrance video.
Yeah.
Because I'm so childish when it comes to wrestling. It's unreal.
Oh no,
I just get so excited about the silliest little things.
there's nothing wrong with that though, because it's pushing you to do better and better and better.
Like I was marking out at one of our own storylines, and then getting told off backstage.
You've got to tell us which one though.
We're very good friends with Contract Pro Wrestling and the Contract Wrestling Academy in Blythe with Assassin and Lindsay and that. And just as a thing for the trainees on both sides, we concocted a kind of like an invasion style battle between our trainees and their trainees, so the trainees would understand how they were processing an angle and creating a feud and building their characters from it and things like that. And when it like, so it was like they came in and interrupted and sowed the seeds a bit. Our guys went on their show and did a bit of a thing, and then it all came together. But when like we did a 6-person elimination tag, and they blew it out the water. Like we had 2 10-year-olds at the start, CWA juniors, and we were a little smash who like knocks around with us, and then we had wonderful and all that jazz because we've warped that boy's mind. I don't know whether we should be really proud or really guilty, but we've had like he's been in 2 tables, ladders and chairs matches with us. And you have to sit and think, oh God, he's 10.
And at this point, I'm sitting there thinking, is that legal? I don't know.
Oh yeah, it's
sign this waiver.
I get a lovely little bit of paper that signs. Even if you die, I get to put you on YouTube.
Sometimes I look at the things we've let Smash do, like he's done a dive out of the ring, and like even like when I was 10, I would have given a leg to just stand in a wrestling ring. And she has this 10-year-old that's done a TLC match. It's like, you're 10.
He's the most over on the show, hands down. Though.
Oh man,
like, and it's sick because he's not like he's not 100% there. He's still learning, and he's still got a long way to go. But no one cares. We've all got to put such effort in to get whatever gimmick or angle we want over, and Smash just got to walk out the curtain.
Just like
all because in his very first, we'll do it like at our anniversary show. We'll do like a rumble for the trainees. Go out there, get some experience of performing in front of a live crowd. And Smash went out, and we had Panny Flanagan in there as an experienced guy to help general how things went. He picks him up on his shoulders. Smash slides down his back, turns around, kicks him in the balls, and Smash has been able to do no wrong since. Just kick Paddy in the balls, and he's never going to be like, no one's ever going to hate him ever again.
That's good.
It's
well,
mad.
when you're like, that's obviously one of your trainees. There's got to be a sense of like, that we taught him that. Like that's us.
Oh, his attitude is like very reflective.
Is his ego just through the roof now?
How dare you?
No, his ego is actually very in check.
Good.
But it's funny the level of warp we've given to him, because he's even like, well, you play drums, so I want to play drums now. So he's got a drum kit. And
I cannot wait till he grows up and realise what an idiot he's been.
I copied off you 2 losers. What?
And he had the other kid, like Diamond Rage from theirs, because we went to see a couple of their shows just supporting, and I was really enjoying it, just being able to watch a wrestling show because I never got out. And went to see their junior show, and he stood out a mile as a heel character, like working the crowd and everything. And it was just like, I hope when you're a teenager, girls don't distract you, because you're going to be mint in the future. And they've got Jonah Phoenix and Rev. And we had Marcy Wilde and Chase Striker. Like Chase Striker, Keaton, he was with her for a couple of months, and we were just like, you've got it. Because he's fearless.
You've got it.
Yeah, he's fearless. He's got all the jigsaw pieces. He just needed that, like, that goes there and that goes there and that goes there. And he's away.
That's it. He's got it.
But all 6 of them, when we did that angle, just blew it out the water. So like when the elimination, like I had this plan in my head, and even like their guys were like messages going, I've got this idea. It was great because I love hearing their creative part as well. Like, because I could tell you what to do till the cows come home, but it'll get boring. Like, it's your character at the end of the day as well, so you might as well have as much input as you can.
You know what works for you and your character.
And but when they were coming at us with ideas, with how the build went, they were coming at us with ideas for the match, and it was just like, you've read my script, haven't you? Like, you've read what I had in mind. Like, this is how I pictured this match going, and you have just grabbed a hold of it. And like, they just killed it for me. I was so proud.
Speaking of people who've got it and people who are associated with Shield Pro, Conor Renshaw, Victor Von Volt's for you
Oh,
guys,
hell yeah.
who's been doing just ridiculous things. But
He
talk to him
deserves
about
every bit of it.
talk to him about what he was like when he was with you guys, and because obviously before he was anywhere else, he was with yourselves.
Really skinny at the start. I love looking at before and after pictures of Conor. It's quality.
Yeah.
Conor is by far in Shield less so now, but if you took a whole like in our years, Conor has been the hardest working wrestler we have. He's the first day to help set up. He was there at the end of knockdown. I need to get this person here. No problem, I'll go and get them. Johnny Kidd's at the train station. I'm gone. Cheers, Conor. Saved my life there.
Yeah.
Conor is the guy.
His work ethic second to none. Like.
And then you put him in the ring and you watch him work, and it's just so flawless. Like, he's just such a good worker. And I've worked Conor 3 or 4 times now, and it's always just a delight. I mean, until he kicks you in the face.
I will say
that's why I'm
you
on
know.
his team now.
I will say that's he's with Rampage and that up there and Primate, which you guys are actually going to be having for a training
Primate's in
seminar.
on Sunday. This Sunday coming, the 17th.
So what's it going to be like then for you guys, bringing in for like someone who's like really well experienced now in NXT UK to your trainees? How important is it to yourselves?
Epic. Did I mention I was childish?
No.
Like, I'm literally like, when Conor eventually ends up on the WWE network,
Yeah, you will.
I'm literally gonna be like, I know him. Like, no matter what I'm promoting, I'll be like, know him, totally know him. Yep. Could like message him on Facebook right now.
Yeah. But it's got to like, we're speaking of NXT UK and stuff. In any case, what has it been like? Have you seen just a massive rise then of people coming to your training centres?
No.
No,
Nah,
of just
plenty of messages,
yeah,
but no one actually turns up.
We probably get a couple of messages every day.
yeah.
I'm looking at training. When do you train? That's great. Sundays are a perfect day for me. I can't wait. Do you do any fitness? Yes, we do a warm up. We do a big fitness thing. We like to keep our wrestlers nice and fit. Oh, you've sold it to us. I'm on my way, and they're never on the way.
Yeah. We have a good solid core group, and whenever we're putting events on, like we said, we'll get along really well with the CWA lot. So the CWA lot just pile in if they're available. They'll just all come in and just, what do you want? What do you need a hand with?
Yeah.
What you got on? What can we be involved in?
What can we do?
And like, they're all chomping at the bit.
That's like I just think that's so important. Just if you're any sort of wrestler or anything to do with the wrestling industry, just to have that drive.
Yeah.
Especially like I can see you guys have it. Especially just look at the stage. Like, and you can tell that you guys put so much fucking hard work into this.
Yeah, I never used to, like, it used to just be a hobby.
Yeah.
I used to have like
that.
I had like my job, and that was like that was my main thing. I earned money and it paid the bills and all that jazz. And I wrestled, but I went to work straight after.
Yeah.
Like, I've done a couple of shifts concussed. It's been fun.
Oh.
In a pub with loads of drunk people.
And you're just
good.
like, why is the 3?
Yeah. But like,
Jesus.
I had my job, and that was like the main focus. It was like, I'm not like, I'm not a good wrestler, so I was just like, the crowd cheers because I look a bit weird and I'm hyper.
And you're different.
And it's, well, I'm not hyper, I'm nervous, because I don't want to mess up, and I know I've got a stupid stunt in mind. So that gets over, and it was like, I've got Rad Pro, so that's where I'm over. So like with my job, I kind of gone there and try and get out. I kind of gone there and try and get out. So I just looked at it as a hobby. This is just like this. I get to play wrestler once a month and all that jazz.
So that was very much your thing. Did you never think then of? Did you contact other promoters and just try and get elsewhere? No?
Any other booking I got was through Dan, probably. I worked one IWF show. I worked an FTW show a few years back, and that's it. Oh, and I've worked for Contract Pro Wrestling a couple of times because they've got no sense. I can say that because I've said it to their face.
So what about that? You then, Dan? So your original start.
Yeah, I started at UWA. I trained with Chris Cannon, Cabby Kowalski, Vulture. You'll have heard of Cabby maybe. I don't care.
I'm leaving that in. It's fine. And like literally at this point, I'm just gonna sit back and just see what happens.
No, like in the UWA days, like it was really old school. Like in the Northeast, we had 2 promotions.
Yeah.
The good old days that everyone hates.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks they hate having loads of promotions in the Northeast, but they don't.
No.
Because back then, you had UWA, where I trained with a lad called Sandbag Phil.
Listen, right? That Johnny doesn't know about this. That was my
Is it him?
That's it. Yeah.
I've heard of a different name that he had. I didn't know that one.
Yeah.
We had and then IWF, and UWA was like the little guys, and IWF were like the dominant force in the Northeast at the time. They had a big contract with the Viz, where they went to the Viz comic every year and did a big event for them. And if you worked for UWA, you did not work for IWF, and if you worked for IWF, you had to be really good to work for UWA, because that's the way it was. You've picked your faction, and you will be loyal to it forever.
It's not like today. Nowhere near like today.
No.
Where it's just like, oh, you're really good. We want you.
Yeah.
It's like it didn't matter. It was just you pick your sword, stand by.
You've got to be the first.
Yeah.
To get them in.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you were saying though, back in the was it 2008, 2009?
Yep.
Yeah, that sounds about the right timeline. My memory's fucking shite, so it's fucking excuse me if I get some of the dates wrong. But yeah, like back those days, it was very much stand by your bed. This is your sword. Die by it.
Yeah, exactly that.
And
the UWA is where I went to train first, and yeah, CRW started around that time as well.
I remember them. Yeah, bloody hell.
And as chance would have it, I would have been a CRW boy.
Yeah.
Not on purpose, because I messaged the MySpace page of UWA, which really upsets us because it tells people how old I am.
Oh. I think it's still up, you know.
And there was Tom Wright. I think he answered us and says training's on these days at this place.
Mm-hmm.
But the next week CRW started, which was kind of where he went.
Yeah.
So if I'd messaged a week later, that's where I was going.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. I turned up at UWA. I like, you get a lot of stick on what British wrestling used to be, but I don't know if it's because I started in that time, but I liked it.
Yeah.
It was good. It was rubbish.
It was
There
fun.
ain't no bones about it. It was rubbish.
Yeah.
You can still go and find old tapes, and they were tapes.
Yeah.
As in, like, we had to take them off the little camcorder tape and put them on a big tape.
Yeah.
And watch them privately, because we didn't have a YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then from there, me and Cabby, I learned to drive, which if you're a trainee and you want to do anything in wrestling, learn to drive.
Yeah.
I have gotten so many bookings on the you're cheaper to bring these wrestlers to me than trains are, so you're getting on the card.
Yeah.
Yes, I am. Yeah, we travelled the country. Like there was a time in my life when every weekend I was wrestling 2 or 3 shows, and I enjoyed that. I got to go everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't even for like the big fish. It was the little ones that I could just sneak in on.
Mm-hmm.
It was a really fun time.
But at the same time, you're just learning. You're just soaking up everything
Just
like a
soaking up
sponge.
what I
Yeah.
Yeah, and I had the misfortune generally of getting to work the lower card wrestlers, and I loved that because everyone thinks, oh, I want to work the El Guerreros, I want to work the Rampage Browns. No, man, I learned to wrestle by wrestling the just up and coming trainees, because then, oh, you've messed up, how do I fix that?
Yeah.
Oh, well, now I can call a match on the fly because I've worked with wrestlers that I've tied up with people who've gone, help.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So it's very much like putting yourself in like through a ring of fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
Except someone else was putting you through the fire.
Yeah,
and
I
then
mean,
dousing you in petrol.
Yeah. And then just going, let's see what happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it's because you've went through all that now you've got that experience to go back on.
Yep.
And I suppose that's why it is really good to have you as kind of a trainer, because you know that. And you've got that to fall back on and say, well, you would probably do this in this situation.
Yeah,
so learn this.
I have a very, I won't say odd, but I wrestled all my life in a front garden. And I don't mean I was backyarding. I mean, when you're a kid, you play wrestling.
Yeah.
Right? And when we played wrestling, I take everything to the extreme. Saying I have 1,000 hobbies. And that's why I can do all the tech stuff, is because it interests us, and I went away and I researched and I find things out and I learn how to... Just because when I learned how to play drums, I learned how to record drums. And then because I record drums, I can record everything. Just any kind of thing like that. So when I was a kid, I liked wrestling. So I learned how to do strikes, I learned how to do suplexes. I could do everything when I walked into training, and it just needed cleaning up. So I often say to the trainers, like, look, I can teach you how to do a suplex, I can teach you how to do a body slam, I can teach you how to do all the strikes in the world, but you're only going to get good when you start thinking for yourself. And some trainees take that and they really, really just run with it, and they're the good ones. They're the ones that I love to watch every week in, week out. They grow and they get better, and other people really need the hand holding, and they're difficult for me. And I think other trainers, not a problem, but because I kind of just went, oh well, I can already do all this, it just needs cleaning up. I expect everyone to, which isn't ideal, but the ones that get wrestling, the ones that have watched wrestling, they're not just there because wrestling looks fun, because they seriously want to be wrestlers. They run with that, and they are the best trainees you can have.
I mean, it is really cool to hear that, though. Like, so how many trainees would you say that you've had that have had that mindset?
About 15. Probably about 15
throughout the time that you've done training.
Yeah, and you'll see a lot of them locally. But again, the northeast being what it is really difficult to break out of. That's if Connor had been anywhere other than the northeast, he would have been NXT already. I think, like, just the northeast is such a hard scene to break out of, and I don't know why. Do
you think it's just something to do with, like, just stigma from past?
Is it to do with, like, from what I gather, there seems to be a lot of promotions in the northeast?
Yeah. So
basically, the same everywhere. Basically,
what happens is it's hard because outside of the northeast, you won't have heard of some of those because you only hear about them because you're in the northeast. So I don't know if you go down south, where there's 3 main promotions and then 20 little ones. I like to think through Facebook and Twitter and everything, I get a gist of the whole scene. But up in the northeast, basically what happens is, if you're not good enough to make a certain show, what you do is you hire a ring and you just put a show on. That appears to be the mentality. and that really drags my name down as a region. And I take a real stand against it. I try and, like, look, if you're going to work for these T-pop promotions, and I'm just not going to book you ever again. And that's helped. It really, really has. But that comes from our high production value. People want to work for us, and that's worth abusing a little bit, I think, at times.
Well, it's I don't even think it's a matter of that. I think it's just a case of, you've got a standard. And that's all it is, and there's nothing wrong with that, especially when you've seen what it's been like, and you know where it's all came from, and you don't want to go back to there. And you want people to still think of you as a reputable person and have that standard and go, oh well, I know what I'm getting when I go to a Shield Pro Wrestling show.
If you come to a Shield show, you are getting a show. You're not getting a ring in a social club with more guys out the back than are out the front. It's not what you're getting at Shield. You're gonna go away entertained, or we'll kill ourselves trying. Like, that's a top.
You can't ask for more than that.
No.
Is a thing. Is if that's what you've got, and you work it with everything you've got, and I respect you a lot for doing that, because you are making your own spot within the Northeast wrestling scene anyway, because it's. When I think of Shield Pro 1, I now think of your giant fucking setup. It's mint. It's so cool, and we need to go to the next show because I need to see it in person, by the way.
Okay.
So game on
we're
March 30th.
There you go. Hey, there you go. Okay. March 30th. So we're gonna have to get down and get to that. Actually, I've just remembered there's now 3 different events on at March 30th.
Yeah,
so
tell us about it, my friends.
So we have to choose which one. Flip a coin. Well, I was going to flip a coin.
Flip a 3-sided coin. But so it's now. I forgot what I was saying.
March 30th.
Yeah, March 30th. You've got very much your own scene because of that stage and because of the characters as well that you guys are putting out, like the Showman, for a good example.
We desperately try not to book in your flavour of the month wrestlers, and that's not a a slight on any of that or anything like that. But our crowd, like we've already explained, we inherited it. Me and Jamie actually brought that crowd in originally. We did stupid stuff at the pub that you will get lambasted for now.
Oh yeah, health and safety was not a thing we took any attention.
But back in the days of Rad Pro, when it was all up a height and what everyone was excited for it, we dragged a crowd from the pub. If we were at the pub and someone was like, "I'll come to your show if you do a spinning head scissors," we were doing a spinning head scissors.
Yeah.
Like we got people in, we dragged them up. And we inherited
We'd even
that
get
whole
them
crowd.
in after they called it fake and we jawed them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's fake though, innit? I don't know, grit your teeth.
Take one
Let's
of these
see what happens.
forearms, eh?
Why are you hitters? I'll see you on Saturday.
Get there's more of it there.
But yeah, we learned the lesson years ago. I learned the lesson in Rad Pro before I left. That it didn't matter what name we booked in. You could book in the biggest name you wanted. Our particular crowd cared about us. It was the homegrown talent. It was the people that were there week in, week out. That's what they cared about. And we still stick with that now.
You can work with it because there's no end of talent on our doorstep. It's just that we want them to take themselves as seriously as we want. Like we want to create the biggest stage possible for everyone to showcase their talent. So match it. Go out there and do your 110. Just be 110% the character, 110% the effort. Just go out there and blow everyone's mind.
There's your platform.
Because at the end of the day, they're the ones sat there with a beer and who are gonna go wow because you can do a backflip.
Yeah.
Like, so just go out there and go mad. Like, tell your story, tell your character, and just like there's your stage. Have it.
Tell everyone who you are.
Prove everyone that you are talented and everything. Because the Northeast like hurts itself as much as it can be.
I get what you mean. Yeah.
A positive, and it hurts the talent. A lot of people around the country will know about the people up here that can do it wrong more than they know the people that can do it right.
Yeah, I mean it does say a lot, really. To be honest, when you do have those sorts of people that it goes all over to say that, oh yeah, we will. I know. Yeah, you're from here. Well, I'm not going to boot you because you might be from this person or this person or this person, and I know their shit. Or,
it's just a paintbrush on the whole scene.
Yeah.
The whole Northeast just a big red mark. Pff, nah, no thank you. And then we produce a talent that's getting everywhere, and the Joe Biggs and the Conor Renshaws, they are getting places now, and it's long overdue. Scotland had their boom. Yeah. Everywhere else has had their. It's our turn. Yeah. Like, we're working hard, man.
No, I know you. I know you are, and it's you can tell. Everybody can tell. Just go on the YouTube Shield Pro Wrestling. Type it all in. You can see how much effort gets put into.
It's quality to see some Northeast names getting out there now. Those like you've got Primate in NXT. You got Screwface pitching up in NXT.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy, man.
Like Roxy is anywhere she can be at all times. Like so that it's acknowledgement's coming.
Yeah, it's getting
slowly but surely, because Screwface has been at it a while as well.
I mean, he's
but
been
it's
all
well
over
about time he got some kind of real acknowledgement for the talent that's going on there.
Yeah,
we haven't really we haven't spoke. We've got a couple of interviews with Howard, but I was just wondering, like, Howard Drake seems to be one of the most hardest working people that I've seen in the Northeast wrestling scene.
Yeah, he doesn't just do he's not just a wrestler.
Yeah,
he builds rings, belts.
So aprons. Why has he not ever been? Has NXT ever looked at him? Do you know?
I'm not too sure, but he was on World of Sport.
Yeah, he was on World of Sport.
Yeah, he was on ITV.
So I just wondered, like, someone who I've noticed has worked so hard, and I'm just surprised I've not had him mentioned.
Yeah, we've had him in a couple of times. Yeah. And in fact, the first time he turned out, he was Santa, wasn't he?
He was Santa.
We asked him if he wanted to be Santa, and then revealed that he was HT Drake at the end, taking on Connor.
Oh, nice.
Santa had a rivalry with Victor Von Volz. The ultimate good versus evil.
That is goddamn fantastic.
Yeah, we thought it was brilliant.
Yeah,
and he's kept the Santa outfit on for the whole match. He was doing springboards off the top and everything. The Santa was brilliant.
Yeah. So that's what I love about that. The whole weird sort of characters like that where you'll get people talking. I don't know how good the match was, but you'll get people talking because you had that happen.
Yeah.
You know,
We've got a great relationship with Santa Claus. He's here every year. Never missed an almost Christmas yet.
So when it comes to like the way your show is set up, you know, you mentioned a couple of characters there like Santa Claus and Victor Von Volz. Are you more character based, or is it more the
It's like a
flippy style? Or?
comic book gets kicked through an action film.
Okay, yeah, all right. I like the sound of that. Yeah,
We
Which
have a nice
you
mix.
can't say that now that the Marvel universe has kicked off so much because they do it properly. Yeah, we're like having a gimmick, but we're like making the crowd believe in the gimmick.
yeah. Okay.
Like my name is Rabbit and he's a clown.
Yeah,
Like
for
together
all
when
the
we're on the same side, we're the weird and wonderful, and we'll go out there and just do fun stuff.
Yeah.
Just we'll have a laugh, and they get it. And then we've got a Victor Von Volz, who's a ventriloquist. We've got Yorkshire Dale, who's a scarecrow. What's got my gimmick wise?
Little smash.
Yeah, a little smash, an 11-year-old that guns around and kicks you off ladders.
So we were speaking there about obviously you're very much like character based, and we spoke briefly about Scotland. And from what I understand, you guys have got like quite a close relationship with a few Scottish promotions,
Yeah,
and
we've got
you do bring a few people down. So
Yeah.
can you talk about that a little bit?
It's been mint lately. We've had the opportunity to work quite a lot with Kid Fight,
Yeah.
and it's just been from every aspect. It's been great for the trainees to come in. Like he's done 3 seminars with her, but just watching how he is backstage with everybody.
Yeah.
It's been a great atmosphere builder, and it's been an epic learning curve for like me as well, because like I say, I became a promoter and was suddenly like, best take this UK scene seriously now and learn who's who and whatnot.
Yeah.
And like I'd been on a show in Rad Pro with Kid Fight before, and I couldn't have told you it was Kid Fight because I didn't know.
Yeah.
I was just, it's not, I was ignorant. I was just a WWE only guy.
Yeah.
Like I watched WWE and that was me. Like,
But it's
it's been epic, and like a lot. He's put a lot of his guys forward from the PBW Academy. And
so what is it that you feel like you've did, because you've had him come down for seminars, and he's also a promoter, if I'm correct.
Yeah,
PBW.
yeah,
Is that right?
yeah, British wrestling.
And it's so. What did you guys learn from him as promoters? Then, when he came down, did he say like, "Oh, listen, you might want to do this, or you might want to do this differently"? Or is there anything?
I contacted Kid Fight first, because I think he felt I was a promoter, which I was not. And he came down, and I don't think he was expecting what he got, because he'd been to Rad Pro before, which was essentially the hall, and a projector on a stack of bread. You know those baskets you bring the bread to the supermarkets in, and one of them projected on the wall. And then he walked in, and it's like, oh, there's some production value here. Interesting. And we went out for a meal, and he just businessed us to just so much advice. He's like, you could just talk to him for weeks. In fact, I have. You just talk to him, and he'll just let something slip that he just off the back of his, and it's just like, that was really interesting. And he's not even doing it to be like, oh, I'm promoter man, I've got all the camps, blah blah blah. No, he's that helpful and that much of a nice guy, and he just wants to help, and it's fantastic to actually have that support.
He's got a proper passion for it. He just does, and it flows out of him, and it's contagious.
Yeah.
So when he's about and he's talking wrestling, whether it's in the ring or out of it, it's just like you gotta soak it in. And you can for days.
Yeah.
Trainees that he brings with him as well, they're all, firstly, they're just top quality.
Yeah.
They're his trainees, and he's brought them forward, so they're the ones he's proud of, obviously.
Yeah.
But they are equally just the most polite and pleasant people to have backstage. Dean Ford is just the Twitter guy. Like, I can read his tweets all day. We're current women's champion. Angel Hayes. She is. I remember her name. Don't worry. She is probably one of the best female wrestlers we've had, and she's not even getting started in a career yet.
Yeah.
And it's just so good to have that behind you.
Yeah. I mean, it's obviously to have someone with such a vast amount of experience as Kid Fight. Did you guys consider yourselves lucky, or was it just a case of, well, I know he's been here before, we'll contact him again?
Oh, I've had a few business relationships with Kid Fight. I used to buy all my merch from him.
Wasn't one of the first times we got in touch with him because we were looking for female wrestlers to start building a division, and he was like, "Oh, message this guy."
Yeah,
and like I messaged him at 3 a.m. because that's my work hours. That's my wrestler. I hate it, man. Wrestlers go to bed early.
Yeah,
so
you've got to go to the gym.
When I'm having my best creative moment, and I want to see who's available for dates, or I'll asleep. But Ross, like Kid Fight, was a week. So
he's on the same.
He was in there from the start for me. Like just like yep.
So is there anyone else from the Scottish scene that you've had that same sort of relationship with, that is you've either brought people in or you've thought, can I get
work
some
quite
advice?
well alongside Reckless Intent with the likes of Jam O'Malley and Michael Chase and everything like that. That was quite fun back in the day, because they've got an excellent selection of guys like the Headbanders or a standout tag team.
Yeah,
because they've got, for a start, they've got you by the balls before they've got out the curtain, because
right.
they've got Belinda Carlisle.
Oh,
Heaven is a place on earth. So it's kind of like the Grado effect with Madonna.
Yeah.
It's just like it doesn't matter who comes out that curtain now. I love your entrance music.
Yeah.
And they're a proper good quality, quirky, great personality. Like, and a good tag team. They work together really well.
Yeah. That's cool.
But unfortunately, we haven't had them down for a while because our dates always clash. But that instant crowd pleasers.
It is really cool to get that though. But like we've been saying, it's having that very character oriented kind of promotion is something that we don't have in the Northeast anyway. So you're already providing a different type of service to what everyone else is doing. So thus people want to come see what you're about. And I do actually tell people, if you are listening to this thinking, well, I don't really know, just go. Honestly, go to one of these shows, because go to
brilliant. Shield Pro Wrestling and watch a rabbit fight a scarecrow.
You're not going to see it anywhere else. Let's be fair.
That's what I've said before. Like when I've done the podcast before, like the two of us have slightly different views on wrestling, in the sense of I'm very much the character's what's the most important to me. The wrestling is also important, but to me it's always the character that stands out. So that's the kind of show that someone like myself would probably enjoy. There obviously Phil's more on this side, where obviously you enjoy characters, but some wrestling fans prefer just what's in the ring and that's it, you know. But I'm saying, like, for myself, this is the kind of show I'd probably really enjoy. And anyone else is more into characters than just the wrestling skill, then they probably want to come to this one as well.
Because they're both equally important.
Yes,
I do find that as well. I understand.
We've got a good mix, because Dan can wrap you in knots that you'll never know how to get out of again.
Yeah.
Like he's like he says before, with these hobbies and everything like that, he goes away and does the research and he picks it up. And he is a jack of all trades. Like, he can just, if he turns his attention to it, he's got it.
Yeah.
And wrestling, like, there's a handful of people that I know he can go out there with absolutely zero plan at all, chop his leg off and blindfold them and still put on a great match. Like, technically sound, flippy, all the ability that you're supposed to see, but it'll tell stories as well. Like, my favourite stuff is the storytelling. I like the character work that goes into it, and he covers everything, because, like, if you say tech to me, that's like swearing. Because once it's done, headlock, wrist lock, hammerlock, Mexican, and back into a headlock again, I'm done. There's knee reversals on note. Old school Northeast.
You did just recite what I refer to as the Northeast Tech Wrestling. It's the spot that every match used to start with. Because back in the UWA days, every match started with this bit of tech. You tied up and you did that bit of tech, and then you went for the international.
Shoulder tiles.
I knew you were going to say that, and I was like, is he going to say? He's going to say the international.
Yeah.
God damn it.
So like my technical wrestling ability leaves a lot to be desired, but I'll get mad passionate about who your character is,
Yeah.
or what story
Yeah.
you want to tell in the ring,
Mhm.
or what story you want to tell as a whole,
Yeah.
from show to show.
Mhm.
And it's really good when we put our heads together on it, because like I see mad ideas.
Yeah.
But
So, like-
then we're gonna make them happen.
Uh-huh.
Like
Sometimes
Rabbit hypnotised by a ventriloquist. So I'm now his puppet controlled by a pocket watch to relate it back to Alice in Wonderland somehow. And when really my gimmick is just me getting ready for the pub.
We benefit massively as well from our crowd because they're there every month. We can run a pretty like obscure, in-depth storyline that a lot of promotions who are either travelling or they just get a different crowd every time. They haven't got that benefit.
Yeah.
So we literally were sitting there and go, well, we can do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
People
was just
buy
going to
into
ask,
it.
like, you get some promotions. I know it's changed a bit now, and it seems like, from what I hear, sometimes WWE is still writing Raw on the day of the show.
Oh, yeah.
But what are you guys like? Are you planning in advance of how?
Try what level best.
All right.
We are theoretically planned 12 months in advance currently.
Okay.
Theoretically.
we-
That's
we-
a lot of pencil.
What happens
Nothing's
is,
inked.
What happens is we try and run a year. So we run Shield Wars to Shield Wars.
Yeah.
And we will...
Shieldiversary.
Shieldiversary.
When does your year start?
January.
Screw January. It's all about the September, man.
We so yeah, we will write like
School year.
from here to here we want to achieve this, and then we start filling the details, and then someone drops out or can't make a show or just drops off the radar, or something happens on a show where it's like, oh, well, actually we're going to change all of this now, because this happened, so here's a new story, and it's fun at times, but other times like, I've planned this, I've spent hours.
Oh, how many times has that happened, by the way?
Every time.
Oh, it's mad. It's mad. Because we're storyline based. We're not just chucking out 6 matches for you to enjoy 6 matches. The show has a flow.
Yeah.
Because we usually put it on YouTube match by match, and the 3 big ones will have Shield Wars in January, and then 106 miles to Shieldiversary in May, which is like our Royal Rumble
Yeah.
style event. It's the lead up to the anniversary show, which is Shieldiversary.
Yeah.
Which is what Mania season style one, where we really want to push the boat out and sell, like, this is our anniversary.
Yeah.
So poof,
Yeah.
it's 200% this time.
Yeah, this is what you get. Yeah.
So we usually go match by match by match, 3 big DVDs, but this show just gone in February where we moved and everything's getting produced as an entire episode.
All right.
Like we would on the DVD with like ads in the middle and flashbacks and different stuff that we've been putting on social media and things like that, and just a lot of it's like it's adapted from what you see on telly, because
So you're
like,
basically
that's
doing
the references I've got. I'm
almost
obsessed.
like a Netflix special, like a series.
Yeah,
Like,
I want it.
and that's what you're putting
I
out.
really pushed hard to have this episodic so people could see the story unfold. Because match by match, you'll get like maybe the odd video that's to do with that match, and then the match happens, but you're just watching that match. Like we've been at a feud for a year.
Yeah.
Where I turned on him last May in a TLC match.
Yeah.
And got hypnotized, and the Weird and Wonderful was no more and everything, and it's been sort of back and forth for a year. But maybe match by match by match you don't see that, but if we produce it as a whole show, maybe the flow would be a lot more noticeable.
You'll get it then. Yeah.
Because
Also, we just really wanted the extra work because we don't have enough to do already.
Yeah. The jobs list board in my office is horrendous.
Yeah.
I really don't like looking at it because not only is it horrendous, it's expensive.
Oh.
Yeah.
As is with everything. in
Everything's
wrestling.
expensive. I have a really understanding girlfriend.
Yes, you can get this.
Oh, I do some grovelling, man.
Oh my word! So
The
it's
benefit is she's not going to listen to this, but everyone note I complimented her. Okay?
you did at that. I'll give you
Did. She's an angel.
that. But if there's anything else you guys want to talk about, then by all means, because you've answered pretty much all of my questions.
If there's any exclusives that you can reveal here.
Ooh, exclusives. Ooh. We don't have the notebooks with us.
I do. They're in the van. I'll be here. Hold on. Excuses. We've got the primate coming in for a training seminar on this Sunday, 17th. March 30th is the next episode of Almost Pro. And then April 27th is the next episode of Almost Pro. And then May is the big DVD show, the 25th. And that's 106 miles to Shield anniversary. And then hopefully by September we'll blow ourselves out of the water.
All right, nice.
For our 3rd anniversary.
Yeah.
Because it's just freaky as out as well. That's only like, we've only put on 30 shows.
And you've came so
which
far.
Which is really mad.
Yeah.
Because I keep thinking like, it'd be better if I could do it like fortnightly or like, God forbid, even weekly. But then
Tech team are not on board with this.
I'm not on board with that because I like it takes like 1 month to really get together and make sure everything's right and how we want it, and if like just the sheer like it's all well and good thinking, man, shows are too far apart. I need them like closer together. I need to put more
do them every
shows
week.
It's just like, no, I don't, because I'll never see my child.
We should also thank most of our wrestlers who come in every month, but not only do they come in for the show day, they come in anytime we say we need new promo pictures, we need to make a video, we need something from you. They will come and do that at their own expense, on their own time. They'll come, no problem, we'll deal with that for you. They'll come up, they'll help out, and it's awesome of them. They don't have to do that.
Everyone's willing to really put the graft in. Like no one comes in like it's just a throwaway booking. Yeah. Everyone comes in like that, like they want it and they want to make something of it, and it's quality, and you can't ask much more than that. I mean, to be honest, I want them to have like the spot I have. I'm only on the show because I'm cheap.
He is cheap.
I am. I'm really cheap. Nudge, nudge, wing, wing.
Anybody listening? Yeah. Honestly, it's one more question I've got to ask. Why did he call it Almost Pro?
Right.
Here we go. I feel like we're going into a story.
It's kind of tongue-in-cheek, but it also goes back to when I was a kid.
Before he tells this story, let me explain to you just how much stick we take for it being called Almost Pro.
Right.
Like,
not that a lot of people call it Almost Pro.
Yeah. Almost weekly, someone says to us, "Oh, you're just Almost Pro then. It's not even professional wrestling." Me. Just shut up, right?
Yeah. It's tongue-in-cheek.
Come look at our product. Tells them Almost Pro.
That's the tongue-in-cheek bit.
Yeah.
It's Almost Pro, except we're gonna go and give it as pro a shot as we can.
Yeah.
But when I was young, like wrestling in schoolyard and stuff like that, before we realised that you should tuck your head when you take a bump and stuff like that.
Right.
Me and my mates, 4 of us, just with plastic, the foam plastic WWF in the day, title belts and stuff like that, called ourselves APW, Almost Pro Wrestling. Because we were just daft, and we were almost pro. It was funny then because it was just stupid kids mucking about on a field, and then when it came about, it's just like, this is gonna sound daft, right? But I want to call it it's the Almost Pro Wrestling School because you train, and then it's we'll have a brand, So Shield Pro Wrestling presents Almost Pro, and it's where the trainees get their experience. We've got a lot of experienced people. Kid Fight, we've got Assassin, Davenport, Robbie Ryder. Like, we've had a wealth of experience from the northeast, from Scotland, from all over the place. Screwface has been in, HT Drake, the list goes on. Johnny Kidd has been in with me, and it's supposed to be for them to learn. You get to work with this wealth of experience already. And then hopefully in the future there's a Shield Pro Wrestling Presents brand number 2.
Oh, okay.
And then it
there's your exclusive.
Yeah, there you go. That's what we wanted.
But that's the future. The future's unpredictable.
So it's like Raw and SmackDown, and it'd be like the same for you. Like,
it was always the dream. It was always the dream.
More NXT.
Yeah.
Okay.
Almost Pro Wrestling School is my performance center, and Almost Pro is my NXT. So logically, I should be looking at a Monday Night Raw. Although SmackDown's beating them in the ratings.
Yeah.
What would you call it though?
I don't know.
not SmackDown.
We argue about this a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm like, oh well, what's the next brand going to be called? Shield Pro Wrestling. No, it's Shield Pro Wrestling Presents.
Yeah.
You know, you want to talk about characters and stuff. You know, like Shield Pro Wrestling. The new Pokemon game's called Pokemon Shield and Pokemon Sword. So just like sword wrestling.
We've made that joke when
This all started on Pokemon with shit.
when-
How it hasn't been at least a graphic for a show yet, I'll never know.
when we disagree with Jamie about some of his ideas, like when he wants to build stupid ramps instead of platforms and stuff. We're like, right, we're starting Rome 1. It's going to be called Sword Pro Wrestling.
That ramp made sense and you know it, right?
Yeah,
I'm not taking no more stick over my ramp.
He did come right. So when he said the ramp thing, and I was like, oh well, we'd rather build a platform. In. No. I was like, oh well, no. You sit your ass down, sort of thing, right? Because you don't get to say no. You get to present me with why you don't want it,
Yeah.
and then we will. And he went, oh well, I don't want it because blah 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 blah. And I was like, that's a really fucking good argument. So now we have a ramp.
It's one of my favourite wins.
What he doesn't realise is that ramp actually converts into a platform.
Yeah, that's the
I
thing.
do realise it because that's a picture I got sent. I got sent of it level across the stage, and I was just like, I was so tired at the time though. I think I'd pulled in all night the night before, and I still hadn't slept. And they'd sent it to try and get some kind of bite out of us. Because they didn't talk to us about the construction and that, but they sent us enough teasers to try and wind us up. And that was one of them. Like, bite, go on, say something.
We built this flight case full of basically those screens take like amps and amps and amps of power.
Yeah.
So we have this flight case which supplies said power, and it's just full of we completely custom built. It's full of 16 amp sockets, and we sent him a picture of that, and he just didn't reply.
That's because I didn't know what I was looking at at
You
first.
say what?
He got lots of teasers, but nothing of any kind of practicality.
Yeah.
It's like he has us pulling in the cable.
Yeah. I got tons of cable photos.
Well, listen, I've just got to say thanks so much for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you about everything Shield Pro Wrestling.
That's no bad.
Yeah,
It's been
great.
fun to run my mouth a bit.
It's been fun to find out history and stuff, and hopefully
It's been a hellish adventure so far.
when people are listening back to this, they think, oh well, March 30th. I think I might be free that day. Go check
Hopefully,
out.
and they're not really just thinking twat.
Go check out Shield Pro Wrestling, Shooter Reed Community Association in South Shields. Go check them out, and go check them out on Facebook and Twitter, and go check out the YouTube. The YouTube is doing really well for you guys, actually, and you're getting thousands upon thousands of views by the looks of it, and that's where all of your matches are, of everything that you've ever done, and you can see the production value right there.
If you can't find the matches, they are reasonably priced at the merchandise stand at live events.
There you go. You've got no reason to not go. Why
I need
not?
my cash register sound. It's not as funny without the cash register sound.
We'll add that one in. We'll add
It's
one
the
in.
best promo I've ever done. We just chucked the mic, and it had the cash register sound because it was just like we we put the promo up of we're getting challenged, and we were like, look, I've been on the YouTube channel. And he goes, what YouTube channel? What do you mean, what YouTube channel? www.youtube.com/Shield Pro Wrestling Presents. Cash register. And I still laugh. And we finished it on a bit of Keenan and Kel as well. So.
Oh, flavour neck. Well, go check them out on everything there anyway. It's been a pleasure having the two of you guys in. It's a shame we'll have to get Gav next time. I have to bring him in as well because we need to hear his side of the story on everything as well.
No, I'll get more abuse.
But thank you very much for listening, everybody. I have been Phil.
That's been Johnny.
And having a nice time.